Everyone, Alex here for Bright Dog Academy. If you'd like me to personally answer any questions you may have about your dog, be sure to head over to brightdog.com where you can learn about my online training program, plus pick up a copy of the official Bright Dog Academy ebook.
Dogs have a very short attention span. So that means that you need to give them feedback at maximum 2 seconds from the time of the behavior, or there's no point. Okay? Feedback needs to be very fast. Otherwise, you might as well just ignore them. Now, here are a few examples, okay, of where this 2-second rule really comes into place. And remember, with the 2-second rule, it's 2 seconds maximum to give either, praise and give them a reward or a punishment, okay? The feedback has to come between, for both. Now, people hear punishment and sometimes jump to the conclusion that, oh, that's going to hurt my dog. That punishment is a shock collar or it's hitting the dog. And while those are punishments, that's not always the case, all right? From a behavior standpoint, a punishment is simply something that reduces the frequency of the behavior that the dog is doing that we want it to go away. Punishment can be simply ignoring the dog. When a dog jumps on you and you ignore them, you don't give them attention, that's a punishment, okay? But that punishment has to come fast. The second the dog jumps on me, I ignore him. I'm petting the dog, and the second he gets too excited and jumps, I turn my back and I completely ignore the dog. Then, for the reward, the second that the dog stops jumping and is back on the ground, that's a good boy, all right? Here's another example that I was just talking to another person about. They have a dog, and the dog one night, they opened their front door, and the dog went tearing out the front yard. Down the street, she had to chase the dog, eventually got the dog back safe. But then what happened, once she got the dog back inside, she started yelling and saying, "No, that's a bad dog. Why'd you run out the door?" And what happened? The dog had no idea why she was getting angry. Because it was way past the 2 seconds. If she were to have tried to give a punishment for the dog running out the door, she would have had to catch the dog basically as he was going through the door jam. But because the dog had already been up and down the block about 6 times and 10 minutes had passed by the time she got the dog back, there's no point to get angry. Okay? You come home and, there's trash all over the house. Here's a good one. And people will come home and say, "Look at that, you know exactly what you did." And the dog has this guilty look on their face, okay? Dogs do not feel guilt. When you see a dog that, these like so-called dog shaming videos where people show their dog and the dog did something and they're going, "Look what you did, who did that, okay? When the dog is cowering and avoiding eye contact and the ears are down, that's not guilt. It's an appeasement behavior. The dog knows that you're upset. The dog knows you're angry, but the dog doesn't know why. Because it's past the time that they tore out the garbage. The garbage they probably got into 5 minutes after you left. 8 hours later, when you come home from work, they have no idea that's why you're mad. So when you see those kinds of videos and things like that, keep that in mind. That's not a guilty dog. That's an appeasement behavior. That's the dog saying, "Please don't hurt me. I don't know why you're angry. I just know you're angry, and I'm sorry. I don't know what to do. Don't hurt me." You see them cowering. They lower their head. Their ears go back. Their tail gets tucked. Sometimes dogs even hide as an extreme because they're afraid. That's actually fear. What a lot of people think is guilt is actually fear, right? And this all has to do with the 2-second rule. If you want to reward your dog, the reward has to come right away. You're practicing teaching your dog to sit. You should have treats already ready in your pocket or in a little treat bag, so the second that your dog's butt hits the ground, that's a good dog treat, okay? Or even just vocally. The second that your dog's butt hits the ground, you're ready to say, "Good boy, all right? Timing is everything with dogs, for both giving them a reward and for punishment, right? You can't ignore a dog when they've done the behavior and, now 5 minutes has passed. If, you can't give a dog a punishment for jumping on a person if they jumped on a person, in your living room, and now you have to come, from 6 rooms away to come get the dog. And by then the dog's already stopped jumping, right? Positive, reinforcement, rewards, it has to come within 2 seconds. And 2 seconds is the maximum. If you can give rewards faster, if you can ignore the dog faster, put the dog in timeout faster than 2 seconds, you're going to get even better results, okay? But keep this in mind. The dogs, they have a very short attention span. And, as their owners, as their trainers, we have to be fast to reward behaviors we like and reward them quickly, and to ignore behaviors that we don't like, or to give the appropriate punishment. Again, remember, punishment is not going to hurt. It's not going to be a physical thing. Punishment is taking something away, taking a toy away, taking away your attention, timeout, things like that. Okay, never shock collars, never hitting the dog, nothing like that. Okay, 2 second rule, very, very important.